Hey guys, welcome back to Ray's Create Cards. I'm Ray Henderson, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Eastern Tennessee, Morristown, Tennessee, and today I'm hoping to revisit a technique that's been around. Well, it's a card layout, and it's been around for a little while. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget about those oldies but goodies, like the bridge card and some other things that we have all enjoyed. So, in trying to plan this out, I got to play in hard and heavy yesterday. And I did 3 cards. I've got 3 other card samples I'm going to show you at the end of the video. For right now, let's just go ahead and get into it. It's easy, it's simple, mass producible. I was thinking the other day, I am so focused on mass producing, and that may not be where everybody else is. And I'm in that mind frame and quick, cute, easy layouts because with the card ministry, we do have to think in terms of mass producing. So I'm going to do my best to kind of think a little bit better outside the box and maybe not focus on that aspect as much. But anyway, I always do try to come up with a variety of things that are easy, not difficult, although there is a place every now and then for those wonderful cards that we do just go the extra mile on, right? Okay, so going through all of my DSPs, I circled back a couple of times to the Fresh as a Daisy DSP, and you may remember this pattern here. It is on that sheet that has several patterns that you cut them all out. Now, in reading the back of the package to see what colors were used in the DSP, it did not say Tahitian Tide. However, as an accent piece, I felt like that Tahitian Tide went really well with that bit of a brighter blue. It did say Azure Afternoon. Do I have a piece of Azure laying here? I don't. But if I get my cardstock, my Azure Afternoon, that's just not it. That's not it. So I went toward the Tahitian Tide. And basically what we are going to be doing today is some triangle accented cards. At this point, you may be saying, oh, I don't really want to do that. It's very versatile, and my other card samples will show you just how far you can expand that idea. So, I do have a Tahitian Tide card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I do have, for the outside layer, a piece of the wild wheat that ties right in. This one I elected to cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, so we're just going to have a little bit of that Tahitian Tide sticking out from behind. And we're just going to go ahead and get that layered on there. Hope everybody's been having a really good week. It's been great here. We're getting all kinds of rain just pretty much on a daily basis. I hate it when it quits because then the sun comes out and that humidity really hits. But while it's raining, everything is cool. It's overcast. The plants are loving it. They're all getting a reprieve, be it flowers, be it vegetables. Now, with this particular pattern, it doesn't matter if you are going to go portrait or landscape. And I was actually torn on which way to do this card. And I elected to go ahead and we're going to do this one in portrait mode. I do have a couple of other samples that are in the landscape mode though. So no worries there. And they'll be a little bit different. I hope that you will come away from this with some good ideas. So did everybody get to take advantage of the one-day sale on the 15% off stamp sets. Did y'all get to maybe pick up a goodie or two that you might have missed out on otherwise? All right, so when it comes to doing the triangle, you can go as low as 2 inches, which is what I have here, up to 3 inches, and even 4 inches on a card, okay? So depending on the size of square that you start out with as to how much of your background paper, you could actually use embossed cardstock, make your own DSP, whatever you want peeking out, okay? But I really, really like this 2-inch. I felt like it added a nice little pop that is so easy to the card. So both of these are just 2-inch square, and it's just simple. You're going to line both corners, any 2 corners, up in the middle of your track. Hang on to it, make sure it doesn't shift. I'm looking. Okay, it didn't shift. And then cut. Okay, so here's these 2. Can I get a hold of it? I don't know. It's been a day already, guys. It's good. It's just had its moments. It's had its challenges, including at 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up just a few minutes before his alarm went off, and it was like, what is up with that? So I got up for a little bit anyway. Turned on YouTube, and I could have sworn it said Tracy Bish was live out of Australia, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to catch her live. No, she wasn't live. And I thought, self, you know better. You know to get up and go get your coffee and maintain with your coffee before you do anything else, right? So my poor little brain hallucinated, or the TV lied. I'm going with the TV light. All right. Real quick, before we use this, I wanted to see, because I did not do it on my other samples, I wanted to see how this might look if we emboss those corners before we put them down. So I'm going to use the splatter folder. Now, I will be honest and tell you, embossing on the mini machine is not my favorite thing to do. It's not my favorite thing to do. I love to die cut on it the way I die cut, but I am not a big fan of embossing on it. So, all right, let me see if I can get all 4 pieces in here. I did not do this on any of my other cards, so we're going to see how this looks when all's said and done. Now, I just need them all to have that splatter on there. They don't even have to particularly be straight or up and down or anything else. And this is one time I think I may have to kind of skedaddle my plates a little bit. Let me see here. Got to make sure the embossing plate is over the embossing folder to apply the pressure. And am I going to get there from here? Normally I can. There we go. It is actually harder to emboss on the mini than it is the big one, or at least for me it's that way. It may not be that way for you, and I'm just being honest. It's a wonderful machine to have. Has a very small footprint. However, you know, for everything you gain, you give something up, right? And so, did I turn that one upside down? I did. All right. Now we're done with that part, and that was going to be the only awkward part of the video, and I was praying it would go well. All right, I'm going to put my folder away. Now we're going to get set up for some die cutting. Now, there is a myriad of ways that you can choose to decorate your card. I thought it would be nice to put some word dies in there and just make it very simple, very easy So I'm just going to go ahead and start applying my glue to my little corners. We're going to go ahead and put those on. And I'm going right to the edge of my DSP that I have underneath. Right like that. And I just kind of flopped these over. I didn't pay attention as to which square was, or which rectangle was which. So it really, honestly, it doesn't matter because they're going to meet right there in the middle with each other on the top and the bottom. Slide that up just a hair. There we go. Got that one and that one. This card's going to come together very, very quickly, so this may really be a short video, but I have had a ton of fun playing with it and playing with stamp set I hadn't got to play much with yet, and I still haven't played with it on camera with you guys. Leave me a comment below if you would like for me to have a Coffee with Friends video where I show you the coloring with stamping blends and all that good stuff. If you want to do that, understanding that a video like that might easily run into a 45-minute, possibly even an hour long, because coloring just takes a while, doesn't it? All right, so here we go. We've got this part. Now let's get ready to do our word dies. Now, the word dies are coming from the Wanted to Say dies. Is there glare? There's glare. Let me move that. All right, that took off the glare. It also took some of my light away, but maybe that's easier for you to see. And so I picked out the Get Well Soon. And so my shadow die is going to be on the Tahitian Tide. The actual letters are going to be on the wheat. Yeah, that one. And I can't believe I just I can't believe I did that. I'm really good, guys, for the most part, at learning new colors and new color names very quickly. That has always been one of my strengths. It has. So I can't believe I couldn't come up with the wild, the wheat thing. You know, the wild wheat. Oh my goodness. But anyway, and these are two colors I wouldn't have necessarily put together. Yeah, they do work out really well. And let's pop all these little inner pieces out. So here's our background. And I went back to using my mint tape. There was one time using the mint tape with die cutting that it tore my paper a little bit, but it was one time out of a whole lot of times, and I thought, you know, it wasn't really fair to shelve that just because you had one bad experience. So unless it happens again, I'll continue to use it, along with sometimes I will also be using the Post-it note tape because that works really well too. All right, now let's get our wild wheat piece in here. We're going to get it cut. But, yeah, 'tis the season for vacations and all that good stuff, right? It is. See how easy I can die cut? I can die cut so much easier with that than I can emboss. And it makes it nice for classes. I can just take the Big Boss for embossing, and I can take my two little mini-me's for die cutting, and that really helps speed up being able to use those machines and all that good stuff. And I didn't have anything stick in there. That's awesome. It's amazing. All right. Now I've got my words, and you see how easy the other little pieces are just falling right out. Need to get that right out of there. Come on, come on, come on. There we go, there we go. And I hope there's still good light for you I'm very carefully scraping my little bits over here to the side so I can scoop them up into the trash here later. And that's all the die cutting, guys. That was it. I'm going to put my plates back in my mini-me. This is how I choose to store it. I mean, it's awesome that they do fold up, and there are times I need that ability, but for the most part, I just leave my plates in there, and they're there when I go to pick it up. So whatever would work for you. But I've been busy learning and exploring with other stamps and die sets that we have that I haven't had a chance to play with yet. And so I'm excited for us to get to learn about some of that in future videos. So I need, well, first of all, I need my background, what happened to it, because I could have sworn I cut it out. Did I not? Did I not cut that out? I did. Did it stick on the, it stuck on the bottom of Mini-Me, and when I sat him down, there it was underneath. Okay. Let me, I can safely now, I think, bring some more light back in. And I'm going to get my fine tip glue bottle from Gina K Designs. I wish Stampin' Up! Would give us some of these tools, but I also understand that you have to balance what's going on in the economy with what it costs a company to develop their own products, you know. So, I mean, I get it. No one company can be everything to everybody. But, yeah. I only go outside of Stampin' Up! For craft supplies when it's something I am really wanting to explore or get into that Stampin' Up! Doesn't give us. So, otherwise, yeah, I stay with Stampin' Up! Products as much as I can because I do believe in Stampin' Up! I do know their quality is there. So, that lined up. Do you see how easy that just laid on there? And I actually started at the bottom and went up. Now, we're going to see, because I had not made a card with these colors. When you see my other samples, you'll see that they didn't use these colors at all. So I'm going to bring my card base back in. I'm sliding around again. And I want to pop that up. But I'm also wondering if I want to use some Wink of Stella on this one. Maybe not. Alright, so we're going to flip this over. And I'm going to get some big dimensionals for where I can use them. And then we will fill in with little dimensionals where the spaces are smaller so that we have good support all the way. But definitely wanted to pop it up. And these could have been popped up. That gives you yet another option. Let me get out my little minis here. These are all from past paper pumpkin kits, and a lot of times I just put them to the side and I save them because usually my regular dimensionals and things are out. So, and then they're kind of there. If I run out of a regular pack and don't want to open up another one, then I do have these over to the side from my paper pumpkin. Which I know that makes no sense whatsoever. I know it doesn't, but it works out that way. All right. So, what do you guys think? I bought a Farmer's Almanac earlier in the year. I actually ended up ordering it online because I could not find one locally. They had already sold out, and I thought, wow, that's really odd. That has already sold out. It was like 2 weeks after it had been released for this year, and they were sold out. So it's like, okay, well, we are just going to have to remedy that. And, all right, guys, I'm trying to make sure. I got to look, see if I'm showing from the front. Yeah, kind of on that one. So I'm going to take that one off. And I just need a little sliver, but it definitely needs a little bit of support right there. Definitely does. And now the trick is going to be getting it off of me and getting it on my card. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Have you ever had those days where you just felt, I don't know, a little bit out of sorts and you don't really know why? Like things just aren't really together for you. That's how I'm feeling today. I just feel kind of disjointed. I feel good. I'm happy. Everything's great. I'm richly blessed. But it's just one of those days where I just feel a little bit out of kilter. Not sure why. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Oh, and it was so odd. I was out on the back porch earlier today when it had started to rain, and I noticed that there were 2 birds, and now it was a pretty good rain going on, okay? There were 2 birds sitting, I don't know, 3 feet apart from each other, up on the wires, and just sitting there, not moving, and the rain is just pounding. And I thought, well, do they use that to kind of help clean their feathers? Because neither one of them was preening, you know what we call preening, where they're trying to clean their feathers and stay healthy, because if they don't keep their feathers clean, they get to the point where they can't fly. So that's why bird baths and things, and I try to keep a bird bath going. I'm not 100% good at it, because sometimes I forget to, you know, if we've had rain or if we've had wind blowing, I forget to go out there and remove the leaves from the trees and all that good stuff. So, all right. We're going to get this and put this on here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to try to make sure I've got that in the middle. Okay. But do you see how fast this is coming together? Now we got to do the inside. So for the inside, I do have a piece of wild wheat that is 4 1/8 by 5 no, I lied. No, take that back. It is 4 by 5 1/4. And then my Tahitian Tide is 3 3/4 by 5. And so before we glue that together, I have a sentiment that I wanted to put on the inside to go along with this Feel Better Soon. And it comes from the seasonal branches. May you feel sheltered in the love that surrounds you. Sometimes get well cards, or, you know, hey, get well, you know, somebody's got the flu, that kind of thing. And then sometimes maybe it's more serious and maybe they need just a little bit more of a message in there. So that was the one I picked. And don't shoot me, guys, but I'm getting out my VersaFine. I'm not going to be using alcohol markers or anything, so I can get away with using this for my sentiment. And I won't say it's any blacker than Memento. I just like the fact that it is formulated to be used on those finer letters more so than Memento is. So hopefully I will get this straight. We hope. If not, there's 2 sides, right? I can always flip it over and try again. Here we go. Yep, pretty straight. Now, let me get my lid back on there. And because VersaFine is a pigment ink, I am going to go ahead and clean this off screen on my Stampin' Scrub very quickly. I didn't quite get that. I think my Stampin' Scrub's a little dry, so we're going to respray that, and we're going to try that again. All right. Oh, yeah. Good soapy suds there. Yes, I got it. All right. Let's get this glued together, and then we will look at the samples that I had so much fun doing yesterday. It was such a relaxing day. I can't remember the last time I took most of the day just to be in my craft room. Usually if I come in here, it's like a hit and miss thing. Like I'll be in here for a little bit and then I have other things that are demanding my attention. I actually did get a load of laundry and stuff done yesterday, and I actually cooked dinner last night. I'm going to be cooking dinner tonight. So, you know, it's all good. It is. It is all good. But so far today, I haven't really been all that productive, I don't guess. It's almost like my day, because I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, then when I did finally kind of doze back off, if I hadn't gotten a text at 8:30, I might even now still be asleep, because that was, yeah, that was something else. It was like, oh my heavens, I'm sleeping my day away. And maybe that's why I feel kind of disjointed. I don't know. But I had my 2 cups of coffee and all is good. Okay, so here is this card made very quickly. Pick out your DSP, pick out your cardstock. Now you can do cardstock on the bottom, DSP on the top. You can increase the size of your squares up to 3 inches. If you increase them up to 3 inches, I'll show you what you get. So, yesterday I did this one, again, using that Fresh as a Daisy DSP, okay? And I kind of did something a little bit different with the sentiment, and I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or hate it. But once I had that cut, I just took my snips and I just angled here and there, and I thought, I just want something different. And it's different. There is Wink of Stella on the mat behind it. I don't know if that's going to show up. It tends to show up better. It's also on the flower, and it tends to show up better on your darker colors in a video than on your lighter colors. And I left the inside blank just for now. But this was using the 3-inch. Cut it, went to 2 different corners, and called it a day. All right, here is another one that I did, and I had been itching to get back and work with that Coffee with Friends. In hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have, but I cut off all the white border around her. And once I did that, I thought, well, now it's going to look like her foot just hanging off into outer space. So I left a little bit, and I colored it with the wild wheat that I use for the stair risers there, hoping maybe that would kind of ground her a little bit. But basically, it's nighttime. She's sitting out there on her porch having a cup of coffee. She's had a very frustrating time of it, and she is realizing sometimes you just have to reheat your coffee one more time and try again. And again, I put the Wink of Stella on the black, and I put Wink of Stella around some of these stars that are in the DSP. You're not going to really be able to see it because it's so delicate. But yeah, and then I used that shimmer texture paper that is in the catalog. So kind of a step up from regular cardstock. Although, again, you know, it could have been hand embossed. That would have been fine. Yep. So there is that one. And one more. I love that Sending Smiles set. And so I got into some more of their DSP. And again, these are cut at 2 inches. And piece of DSP underneath. And then I just matched the boho blue, the copper clay. And then I threw in some lemon lime twist for the stem. And so there you go. There is that card. But do you see how versatile this is? So this card and this card used the 3-inch squares cut at an angle. And both of these used the 2-inch squares cut at an angle. Alright guys, I don't know which one of these would be your favorite. I'm hoping that if it's been a while since you have done this, yeah, get back out some carton. You know, everybody has got usually 2-inch and 3-inch scraps in their stuff. So get them out, see what you can pair them with, and get you some cards made. So y'all have a very, very blessed weekend. I'm sorry this was just super, super short, but I guess it was meant to be that way. I try not to be under pressure to either cut them super short or keep them even longer. But anyway, y'all be blessed, be safe, know that you are loved. God is good all the time. Bye.